Okay, Jamie Vardy has announced his retirement from international football today at the age of 31. He says in his statement that he wants to focus on his club, Leicester City. He wants to prolong his career with them as long as possible and play at the top level for as long as possible because his game is based on pace. And for a 31-year-old, he's still exceptionally fit for a 31-year-old. His story is an interesting story with the non-league, lower leagues to Premier League. Obviously, he's known for his time at Leicester winning the Premier League, but he did spend a large proportion of his career at Fleetwood Town, and he was very, very instrumental in their propelling them up the football ladder, so to speak, up the divisions. Obviously, because of him playing in the lower leagues for a lot of his career, he came to the England side very late. He's only been around the England fold for 3-4 years, so he's not been around the international scene long. But he's been a very consistent goal scorer. Yes, he's behind Harry Kane, but he's the second best striker we have in England, which highlights the depth issue. You've got to look at the players that can play in that centre forward striker position for England, and there's not that many that get enough game time and score enough goals. You could say Rashford, if at Man United, if things work out, he can play a lot of game time and develop. But with what's going on at Man United now, that's a worry. You could say Welbeck, but he's hit and miss. He has good spells, and then he has very long dry patches, and he's a very streaky scorer. He'll score a clutch of goals and then won't score for weeks, months. Of course, you've got Harry Kane. And then it starts to look a little bit, okay, the other young forwards coming through, they're not getting enough game time at their clubs. And if they are, they're mostly coming off the bench or they're in peripheral roles. They're not starting every game. So it highlights the club country debate, which is something we can, discuss in another video. But he and Gareth Southgate have come to a mutual agreement where the time is right to call it a day at this level, unless there's exceptional circumstances. He has not ruled out playing for England again in the future, should the circumstance arise where he is needed for depth reasons, so an injury or a suspension. So let's say Harry Kane gets injured and Welbeck and Rashford are suspended or injured as well. He will get a call up and he'll be more than happy to do that. But he has stated he wants to focus on his club career and prolong his career as long as possible. In 2 years' time, he'll be 33. Many players have played on until their late 30s, early 40s, depending on the position and depending on the tactics. Southgate's tactics this summer just gone at the World Cup. Set plays where most of the goals came from. Only one goal came from open play from Jesse Lingard. The rest were all from corners, free kicks and penalties. That doesn't suit Jamie Vardy's strength, which is running in behind, using his pace and movement. In open play and ghosting in between defenders. So you could say Southgate's tactics didn't suit his style of play and what his strengths are. But he will still track back. He will still do the two-way defending. He will track back. He will run all day. He's a nightmare for defenders. But because most of England's goals came from set plays, apart from one, it didn't suit his style of play. Plus, he was on the bench a lot of the time. Didn't get a lot of game time. I think he had one start in the tournament. So you have to bear that in mind. So that there is that to consider. But he's decided to go with his club, and that, as I say, ignites the club country debate. Do you agree with his decision? That's what I want to know. If you're a Leicester City fan, are you happy that he's going to just be focusing solely on Leicester City? If you're a neutral and you do follow the national side, do you think, again, he should have at least carried on for another 2 years? Is this on the manager Southgate? Trying to focus on youth, which is a good thing, but his tactics not suiting a very key player who is the second best striker we have in the country for goals scored and appearances and experience. Because let's say Harry Kane does get injured, who do we put up front? Who goes there? Who can lead the line? Who can be that target man? Or men, if he decides to go with two up front, who are the one or two other strikers behind Jamie Vardy who can do it? Is it Welbeck? Is it Rashford? Do you put Sterling as a striker? Because Sterling's more of a winger, even though he seems very effective going up the middle. So what do you play there? Do you call Walcott back into the side? Is when Oxlade-Chamberlain's fit? Do you play him further up the field, or do you play him on the wing? This is the issues we have to discuss as observers, really. But all these questions are for another day. Yes, a lot of those players I mentioned either are playing at clubs that aren't performing right now, such as the Man United debate. Is Mourinho hindering some of these young players? And is the style of Man United's football not helping their development? And there's some issues at Man United. Or they've been injured a lot, such as Walcott and Oxlade-Chamberlain. They've had a lot of injuries, and that's kept them out of first team football for a while, especially Oxlade Chamberlain before the World Cup. There was a big blow for him and England, I felt, because when he's on form and running at players with pace, he scares defenders. But there we go. These are all debates for another video. But Jamie Vardy has decided to go with focus on Leicester City, and it was agreed that his age was counting against him in Southgate's plans, because Southgate's trying to build this young side to contenders and grow them as a core. And obviously Vardy will be older and probably retire before Southgate's plan is fulfilled. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below. I'll have some more videos for you soon.